Hey, Courtney. Sorry, I was posting it everywhere.
Hi.
How are you? It takes me, once I get on and then I try to post the link everywhere, it takes me a minute to get back. But, and now I'm logging into the textbook and I'll put it up because I'm assuming it's on the textbook problems, or is it on worksheet practice B or A?
It's on the textbook.
The textbook assignment?
Yeah, it's on pages 137 through 138.
Okay. I'm having trouble logging into my textbook. It keeps defaulting to the Algebra 2 book, so it's taking me a minute. I'm sorry. That's the chapter review, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you hear all my clicking? Is it annoying?
It's fine.
There's so much to do. Okay, which problem is it?
53.
53?
Yes.
Okay, so on this one, it's, we have to actually set up the proportion, so it's not there for us. It says the label on a can of paint states that 1 gallon of the paint will cover 560 feet. How many gallons of that paint are needed to paint 1,400 square feet? So I'm going to try something.
Hi, Miss Sparks.
Hi. Can you all see? No, doesn't work. I think I'm just going to. What, can you see the blank screen?
It's not.
It's not blank. Is it what I'm erasing, or is it the textbook still?
No, it's what you're erasing.
It is?
Yeah,
okay.
I see it.
Okay.
So I actually
Mary, I don't know when you joined. But Courtney was asking me about number 53. I believe it's page 137. It's the paint problem.
I think it's 138, but I think yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay. I couldn't remember exactly what page it was, but it has to do.
So I actually have a lot of questions.
Okay. Well, that's fine. I figured that was going to be the case. And so sweet Courtney emailed me to say that she had a couple questions, and she had a conflict for the rest of the afternoon. So I thought, well, I bet a lot of people will have questions. So I'm just going to actually do Math Lab for about an hour and a half today. So I'll be here for a while.
Well, thank you.
No problem. I figure, it's chapter review, and you guys aren't going to see me, really until y'all take the test next week. You'll see me tomorrow, but we'll do some review in class tomorrow. But other than that, you're just going to have me in Math Lab. So I think I'm going to try to extend Tuesdays as well. Okay. As long as you all can see the problem. I've got one computer with the problem up and then the other computer so I can write. So it says the label on a can of paint states that 1 gallon of paint covers.
Which page is this?
This is page 137, number 53.
Okay.
covers 560 square feet? Yay. Sorry about my dog.
Man, they really don't like you talking to a screen.
The first bark was my dog, and then I think he made her dog's bark.
I already put the big dog out on the back porch because he doesn't like me talking to the screen, but I don't know what this one's deal was. Like, really? Puppies. Okay, so, and then it says, how many gallons of that paint would be needed to cover 1,400 square feet? So this 1 gallon of paint, you know how you write proportion feet. So 1 gallon will cover 560 square feet. What they want to know is how many gallons are going to cover 1,400 square feet. Does that make sense? So X is the number of gallons that you would have. So here's the number that 1 gallon covers, 1 per every 560 feet. And that's kind of another way, a ratio of stating that. And then how many is our X, that's the unknown, will cover 1,400 square feet. So now we just do our regular cross multiplying. So 1,400, because 1 times 1,400, do our cross multiplying, equals 560x. So now, how do we solve that? That's just a regular algebra problem. And so we're going to divide both sides by 560. And you can either put this in your calculator or you can do good old long division, which everybody loves. So you kind of have to guess here. Let's see, 560 times 2. 1120. So it's going to be 2.5 gallons.
I got that, but I did it a different way. But the way you did it is easier.
It is?
Yeah.
But you got 2.5?
Yeah.
That's awesome, Courtney. Yay!
I think I multiplied both sides by 1,400.
Okay.
Or something.
Oh, I bet you tried to do it the way they were doing it above, and I just made the note on the lesson plan. I know exactly what you did. But that's okay, too. That's like clearing the fraction, and that's fine. I just wanted you guys to know that you can do the cross multiplication. And I just added that note to the lesson plan. But if you did it the other way, Courtney, I'm I'm happy that you figured that out. That's amazing. And kudos to you for that, because you will use that again in algebra later. So it'll be good that you got that figured out. I'm really proud of you. But I did make that note. I just made it a little too late, obviously, on your part, for which I'm very sorry. But I'm proud of you for getting it figured out the other way.
Okay.
That's amazing. Did you have another question? Because I know that you have to go somewhere. So
I had a question on 59.
On 59. Oh, that looks like fun. All right, let me get this erased. Like I said, I sure wish there was like a clear screen or something fun that would make this a little easier.
I had a question on that one too.
Number 59?
Yes.
Okay, well, it looks like a humdinger.
And then a couple before that.
Okay, all right.
I tried it and I have an answer, but I don't know if it's right.
I can tell you what the answer is, but I'll be happy to work it out as well.
Yes, please.
The answer is negative 13.
That's what I got.
Well, there you go.
Can you solve it too?
I absolutely will. I love doing this stuff.
I do not.
Oh.
I'm fine with cross multiplying. It's just when you add the variables to it, then I'm like, what?
All right, so we're going to cross multiply, just like we have before. But this time we get lots of little fun family things going on. So when we cross multiply here, we're going to have negative 4 times 5 minus c. And remember, this is a grouping. So I always feel like it's a good idea or a good practice to get into is to go ahead and put those in parentheses before you just, before you write your cross multiplication problem. So now you have 3 times 2c plus 2. And now we're just going to apply the distributive property. So we're going to distribute that negative 4 to both the 5 and the negative c. So that's negative 20. And then a negative 4 times a negative c is going to be a positive 4c equals. Now on this side, we're going to distribute that 3 to both things in these parentheses. So we have 3 times 2c, which is 6c, and 3 times 2, which is 6. And now what we'll do is we've got to get our variable on one side and our constant on the other. And since most students prefer, the variable on the left, I'm going to go ahead and try and move my constant to the right. So I'm going to add 20 to both sides. So it gives me 26 over here. Leaves me with my 4c by herself over here. And then this is 6c plus the 26. And now I'm going to subtract 6c from both sides because that's an understood positive in front of that. That leaves me 26 over here and then a negative 2c on this side. So now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2 because we undo multiplication by division. And my final answer is C equals negative 13.
Oh, every time I overcomplicate it. Every single time.
Which number is this?
Gosh darn.
That was number 59.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do number 58 as well?
Absolutely. How did you overcomplicate it, Mary? If you don't mind my asking. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus in math lab.
Fine. I never know what to do with the 5c, and the negative 4. I never know where to put it. I don't know how to put it into an equation.
Oh, okay. From the get-go at the very top?
Yeah, so I didn't realize that you do negative 4 times 5 minus c. I don't know what I was thinking.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why that's why I say it's a good idea when you have a on top of a numerator that's called a grouping. That's why remember how I say, well, I don't really think of it as PEMDAS. I think of it as GEMDAS because that's a grouping. A grouping is something that's on top of the numerator, whether it's got parentheses around it or not. So that grouping, so that's why I will go ahead and put it in parentheses because I know that's what you guys are used to seeing groups as parentheses. So I put parentheses around it, but it's technically a grouping even without the parentheses. So that being said, number 58, this n plus 8, that's considered a grouping because it's on top of the numerator.
Okay.
And then the 5n minus 2, that's considered a grouping because it's in the denominator. Okay?
Okay.
So when I'm writing the problem out, if I'm not remembering that that's a grouping, I just go ahead and put parentheses there. The problem doesn't have the parentheses on there, but in order for me to remember that that is a grouping, I just make that as a note to myself, okay? Before I ever start doing the cross multiplying. And now I can apply that cross multiplication. So I've got 8 times n plus 8 equals 3 times 5n minus 2. And now I'm going to distribute that 8 to everything inside my grouping or parentheses.
Wow.
So that would be 8n plus 64. And then 3 times 5n, which is 15n. And 3 times a negative 2, which is a negative 6. And now I'm going to get all of my constants on one side of the equal sign and all of my variable on the other side. And since it's most common to have the variable on the left, I'm going to move my 64 over here to the right by subtracting 64 from both sides. That leaves 8n. And then over here, I have 15n, and then a negative 6 and a negative 64 gives me a negative 70. And then I'm going to move my 15 to the left side of the equation by subtracting 15n from both sides. That eliminates it from the right side. That leaves me with a negative 7n on the left and a negative 70 on the right. Divide both sides by negative 7, and I have n equals negative, or I'm sorry, not negative.
10.
10.
Light bulb.
Yay! I love light bulb moments. Those are amazing.
Yay.
Could you do 64?
I can do 64. Because I know that you have someplace to go. I was just getting ready to ask you. I wanted to make sure I handled your questions because I know you have to leave. So I appreciate you emailing me and letting me know that so that I could get your questions answered. And then, Mary, I'll go back to any that you have. And Annabella, if you have any, sweetheart, you can let me know which ones you have.
I might have another question on the worksheet.
Okay. That was practice A, right?
I think so. I don't have it out right now,
Oh, okay.
but I'll go get it.
Are these the ones that you're taking up for a grade?
Did I have that on there?
Well, you said like one was going to be like a homework check, but you're only going to put it in if it like helps us.
Oh, that's the daily grade. That's tomorrow in class.
Okay.
That I'm handing that out. Since we're kind of talking about that, I want to pull something up real quick. Are you all keeping up with this? This is all the stuff that's due next Wednesday. This is the classwork that y'all have been doing and working so hard on. And this week we've done a cross products maze activity on Monday. And yesterday we did 2.8 practice A in class. And today what we're working on here in Math Lab today is pages 137 through 138, 47 through 64. And then actually this one, I have this textbook assignment for class tomorrow, but it might be something different. So I may actually be taking that off. But chapter test B is what y'all are working on Tuesday at home. There is no weekend homework. But I think I have this in Google Classroom somewhere, but this is what is actually due on test day. And you have to print this out as a cover sheet. So, I think Courtney asked for 64, right?
Yes.
Okay. A pet store sells aquariums that are rectangular prisms. The volume of an aquarium is given by the formula V equals, and I'm going to go ahead and write that at the top. I always either write important things from a word problem down or underline it if I'm on a worksheet, where L is the length, W is the width, and h is the height. The first thing that they want us to do is solve the formula for the h. So this is like one of those literal equations that we were working on yesterday in class. And so what I want to do, what's being done to the h?
It's being multiplied.
Yes, ma'am. And what are the two things that are being multiplied to it?
L and W.
Right. How do I undo multiplication?
Division.
Good job. So I'm going to multiply this. I'm going to divide this side by LW, and I'm going to divide that side by LW. That gets rid of it here, and that leaves me V over LW equals H. And I'm done with part A. Okay?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And then it says, use the rewritten formula to find the height of the aquarium shown, which has a volume of 5,850 cubic inches. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to substitute what I know, and the volume is 5,850. So that's what the V equals. The length is 30. And the width is 13. So on the bottom here, I'm going to have 30 times 13 equals H. So 13 times 30. So that's 5,850 divided by 190 equals H.
Wait, how did you get 190?
Did I do that wrong? Did I multiply wrong?
My calculator says 390.
Oh, because I didn't multiply right. I forgot to multiply that. I'm so sorry. I just brought down my 1. Good thing you checked me on that. All right. Well, make sure my division is right then. You could probably do that much quicker than I can do long division.
It's 15.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that saves me that. So 15 equals H. Thank you, Courtney.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Oh, yes.
A question on the practice A worksheet.
Okay.
I think it's it's 11.
Okay, number 11. I don't think I brought it. I don't think I added it to this, to the math lab.
Still waiting on mine. I'm not sure why.
So do you, would you mind reading me the problem?
It is 2x minus 3y.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry.
I'll tell you again.
What did you get for 64 again?
15.
Okay.
I got 15 for the final answer. Did you get the literal equation rewritten though? Did you see my answer for that?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, Courtney, I'm really ready now.
It's 2x minus 3y equals 6.
Okay. Are we getting it in function form?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to subtract 2x because what's going on around the y? It's being multiplied by 3 and it has 2x subtracted from it. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides because I want to work PEMDAS in reverse. So that leaves me opposite of 3y equals 6 minus 2x. And now I wanted to divide both sides by -3. And that's going to leave me y equals, and this is 6 divided by negative 3, which is negative 2. And then this is going to be negative 2x divided by negative 3, which would give me a positive 2/3 x.
How did you get the 2/3? By negative 2 divided by negative 3?
Yes, ma'am. And remember how you and I were talking about in class yesterday, how on the video, and I really do believe this is why he does it this way. Instead of writing it Miss Sparks' way, which is here, he writes it like this.
Yeah.
So he would have like 3y equals 6 minus 2x. So then he would divide negative 3 like that. So then he would have y equals negative 2 and then plus 2/3 x. And that might be easier for you to see.
And that's the final answer?
Yes, ma'am. So I don't care which way students do it. If this is easier for you guys, great. If this is easier, then either way. Both are obviously correct because you're doing, one of them is just a big one that you're, multiplying, dividing each item by. And then the other one is just 2 individual small problems. So.
And then I had a question on 16.
Okay.
I can tell you it, I think.
Okay. Is it one of the more complicated, like word problems or literal equations?
It
I can
says
tell.
solve the literal equation.
Okay. If you give me the equation, then tell me what it's solved for. I think I'll be okay.
Okay.
Annabella and Mary, are y'all able to follow along? And did anybody else join us?
Annabella just left.
Oh,
Eli.
she did? Eli's with us?
Yes.
I'm here.
Hey, Eli.
Hey.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Okay. Courtney, tell me the problem.
It says solve P equals R minus C and solve it for C.
Solve it for C?
Yes.
Okay. Couple different things that you could do here. If you wanted to have C, I think, was it you and I that talked about this in class?
I don't think so.
No, I know it was somebody. Yeah, no, it was somebody else who sits in your seat in a different class. How weird is that? That's why I was thinking it was you.
Who is it?
Samantha Sands.
Oh, yeah.
Because what she did, and I'll show you how she did it. This was kind of interesting. She added C to both sides to get C over to the left first. And then she subtracted P from both sides. Like that. I originally had done it like this, but you have to then divide by a -1, which I think throws a lot of students off.
Yeah, that's what I was about to do. And I was like, what?
So you could have P minus R equals -C. But when you end with that -C, you can't have a -C. So you divide both sides by -1, and you get negative P plus R equals C, which then, if you don't want to have a negative in the front, you could rewrite this as R. It was just easier to go ahead since she saw, and this, everybody sees things so much differently. Since she saw that was a negative up here, she said if she added C to both sides, then it would be positive.
So could you just put C equals R minus P?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I mean,
then
like this one up here. Yeah. So, I mean, that, but I don't know that all students would see that right away. So it kind of just depends. That is the beautiful thing about literal equations and algebra. There's so many different approaches as long as you're following all of those properties of equality, division, multiplication, addition, and always using your inverse operations to manipulate from one side of an equation to the other. You can't just automatically move something from one side of the equation to the other. You absolutely have to use that inverse operation. As long as you're following that, you're good.
So could you do 17 and 18 as well?
The last one
Oh,
I
yeah.
have is 20.
Oh, okay. All right. I will. Hey, Mary, do you care if I do her 20 and then go back to 17, 18?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
And then you put the slide.
Because where do you have to, how long is your drive, Courtney?
I need to be ready by 2, but I need to get ready.
So this slide.
Okay.
What do you have going on, Courtney?
I have Cornerstone cheerleading tumbling.
I might start this.
Okay. So I'm doing 20, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. What is the problem? Or is it a word problem? Should I pull it up?
I can read it to you, I think. It says solve the formula for the indicated variable. And number 20 says the circumference of a circle is C equals 2 pi r.
Okay.
Solve for r.
Okay, so I'm solving for R. Okay, so what's being done to R?
It's being multiplied by 2 and pi.
So I undo multiplication by
Division.
division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2 pi. And that cancels here. And it leaves me C divided by 2 pi equals, I know my pi's are ugly, sorry, equals R. And that's it.
Okay. The pi just freaked me out a little.
Yes, I know. It does, everybody. Pi freaks everybody out.
Thank you.
And no problem. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye. Okay. Hey, Mary,
Mm-hmm.
you had some more on practice this on
Do what?
practice A 2.8.
Do I have it out?
No, I said you had a couple of other questions,
Oh,
right?
yes,
Like
yes.
you said 17 and 18,
Yes.
right? Is that what you said, or 14? Did you say
17
14 and 15 or 17,
no,
8?
17 and 18.
Okay.
That's it. Oh,
Okay.
and then 21, like 21 through 24.
Well, you don't have to do 23 and 24. You only had to go to 22 on that worksheet.
Okay, then 21, 22.
Okay. So I'm doing 17, 18. Okay. So let me start at 17. I'm solving F equals M times A, and I'm solving for M. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what's being done to M?
It's being multiplied.
By?
A.
Okay. So I undo multiplication by,
Division.
so I'm going to divide both sides by A. And so it's F over A equals M.
That's it?
Yes.
Oh, Lord. And then 18, would you multiply by R?
Yes,
So
you
it'd
would.
be E equals I R, or I times R?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, goodness. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense now.
Okay. And now you want me to do 21?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The volume of a pyramid is V equals big B, because that's the area of the base, times H over 3. And you're supposed to solve for big B. So, what I'm going to do first,
You're solving.
and it's also divided by 3. So the first thing I want to do is kind of unpack that. So I'm going to handle that being, since both of those are being divided by 3, I'm going to multiply, because that's kind of a grouping, because remember we handle what's on top of a numerator like a grouping. Okay? So we're not going to start with that first. We're going to start with multiplying both sides by 3, and that will eliminate this. H.
Okay, so.
Okay. And now we've got big B being multiplied by H. So I'm going to divide both sides by H to get rid of my H. So that gives me 3V divided by H equals big B, which is what we were looking for.
And that's it?
That's it.
See, the problem I have is that I never know when to stop. Like, when is it completely simplified as far as I can go?
Okay. When you see big B, like whatever it is that you're looking for, when it's on one side of the equation all by itself, you know that that's a win.
Okay.
But the second thing that you'd want to look for is to ensure that on the other side of the equation, there isn't some type of reducing that can go on. Like for whatever reason, if I had, there wouldn't, in this particular case, like for whatever reason over here, let's say we had 3V over 3H equals big B, which that's not going to happen. I'm just making that up. Obviously, that could be reduced. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So as long as there's nothing that can be reduced and the variable for which you are searching is all by its lonesome, because remember, that's the whole goal. Let's get, it's a loner, it's antisocial, it wants to be by itself. That's the solution. Whatever you're solving for, you want to get that thing all by itself, and you want to make sure that everything at the end of the problem is in its very simplest form.
Okay.
Any other questions on the textbook work or
number 22?
In the textbook work? No.
No, in the worksheet.
Do you have your notes from class yesterday? I don't mind doing 22, but I did 22. That's actually the guided practice number 4, and also, if you have that. Did you take notes when I did that in class?
I think so. Hold on.
I don't mind doing it again because all this practice helps.
No, ma'am, I do not have that one.
I have it.
Okay, good. Because that number 4 on the guided practice and number 22 are the same thing. So we're solving this for W. So you're right here. So you're trying to get W all by itself. So you're subtracting 2L from both sides. And that gets rid of that. And now on this side, you have P minus 2L equals 2W. And now you're going to divide both sides by 2. And you're done.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Eli, you have it from class yesterday still?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Do you have any other questions on practice A or the textbook work?
I have some questions on page 129.
129?
Yeah, the lesson 2.8.
Oh, hang on just a second. Is that listed in like for tomorrow's thing? Or was it?
Oh wait, yeah, you're right. It is tomorrow's work.
Okay. I don't mind going over it, but Eli, do you have any questions on before I start on that, which I don't mind going over it at all, Mary?
Okay.
We can definitely start on that.
Could we do 19 right quick?
From the 2 point on the practice A?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sure, we can. We're solving the literal equation for a specific variable. And in this case, we've got ax minus by equals c. And we're solving for x. So we have our x right here. And it's being multiplied by a. And it's being subtracted. By is being subtracted from it. And so once again, because we're doing PEMDAS in reverse, we're unpacking the order of operations because that's what we do when breaking down equations. We're going to handle the addition and subtraction first. So we're going to add by to both sides of the equation. So that would eliminate it there. Oops, I shouldn't have written that there. So that would give me c plus by here. And then I have ax over here. So now I've got a times x. So to undo multiplication, you have division. And once again, this is how Mrs. Sparks does it. I would just leave it as c plus by over a. But the two ways that this can be written is c over a plus by over a, or you can write it x equals c plus by all over a. Any other questions? Did that make sense to you, Eli?
Kind of.
Kind of?
Yes.
Do you want me to walk back through it?
I think I got it. Yeah, I see
Okay,
what you do now.
I don't mind walking back through it. Well, let's just start over. Okay, so we're solving the equation for x. So one of the first things that you can do is kind of highlight your x and figure out what's going on around it. And the x here in this situation is being multiplied by a, but it's also being subtracted from it is this minus by. So if you're working with PEMDAS, and when you're working in an equation and you're unpacking an equation, you're taking that order of operations, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, and you're actually undoing it. So you're working it in reverse. So we have to handle addition and subtraction first. So if I'm working my way to this x, I have to handle this first. Okay? So what I'm going to do then is add by to both sides of the equation, because whatever I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other. And I undo subtraction by addition. So that cancels it on this side. And then that leaves me, the only thing I have left over on this side is a times x equals, and then c plus by, because I'm just kind of bringing my c down, and I've added this by. Does that part make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then now this is multiplication. A is being multiplied by x. So in order to undo multiplication, we use division. So I'm going to divide both sides by a. And so then I have x, because this cancels out, equals. And then we've got c plus by all over a. Is it easier for you to see this way, or when I take this a and divide each little piece by it?
I think this way.
You think this way?
Yes, ma'am.
Because the other way that it can be written is like this. Like I take the a and I divide the c. It's c divided by a, and then it's by divided by a. It's like taking each, these are two like small division problems, I guess you could say. It can be written like that, or it can be written as one big division problem. But you're done. Either way you write this at this point, this is just the two options of how to write your final answer. But either way are acceptable. How did you guys do on 4 through 15? Was that hard or easy for you?
On the worksheet?
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't have any questions on it, so good.
Okay, so you feel pretty good about that one?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you all like to see the answers
Sure.
to check your work?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's see if I can find them. Okay. Hold that thought just 1 minute. Oh, computer's moving slow. Whoops. Wrong button. Okay. So it kind of starts down here, guys. Where number 1, no, and then 2 is no, and 3 is yes. And then number 4 is y equals 3 minus 10x. And number 5 is y equals 4x plus 13. How are y'all doing so far?
Good.
Good.
How you doing, Eli? Are you doing okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Because if any of these, if you miss them, this way we know which ones to make sure we go back and do, okay? And then number 6 is y equals 4 minus 8x. Number 7 is y equals 7 minus 2x. Number 8 is y equals 3x plus 9. Number 9 is y equals 9x minus 8.
Is it okay
Number
on
10.
number 8 if I put y equals 9 plus 3x instead of y equals 3 plus 9x?
Absolutely.
That's what I put too.
Oh, it is? Okay, yeah, that's absolutely fine. You can definitely do that. As long as, your signs match, you're good. Does that make sense? Like, let's take number 9, for instance.
Okay.
It's y equals 9x minus 8. If you would have written y equals negative 8 plus 9x, that would have been fine. But you needed to make sure you have the negative there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you as well, Eli?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Because that's the whole key with that is making sure you have the right signs with the right numbers. And then number 10 is y equals 3x minus 4. And thank you for bringing that out too, Mary. I appreciate that. And number 11 is y equals 2/3 x minus 2. Number 12 is y equals 6 minus. Yes, ma'am. Y equals 2/3 x minus 2.
Oh, whoops.
What did you get?
I put y equals negative 2 minus 2/3 x.
Did you have negative 2?
Yeah.
Okay. So you
But
just
that's
missed the
negative
sign on 2/3. You just missed the sign on 2/3 x.
Okay, so it's plus 2/3 x.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And then number 12 is y equals 6 minus 2x.
I missed the
And
sign on that one too.
Did you?
Yeah.
If you want me to go back and do any of these, I'm happy to. Like if you want to star them and say, okay, let's go back and work these, I'm happy to do that.
No, I see what my mistake was.
Okay. All right. And Eli, the same thing. If there's one that you messed up something up and you just want to make a star by it as we're checking it, I'll be happy to go back and work it. Okay. Because I'm here till 2 o'clock. And then number 13 is y equals 8 minus 5 halves x, or 5 over 2x.
Oh, darn. I just put 5. I don't know why.
I don't know. If you want me to go back and work that one, we can.
Oh, I see what I did. I didn't take into consideration the 2 under it. Okay.
But you see what you did? You don't need me to do it?
Yeah, I see what I did wrong.
Miss Sparks, I've got to go to baseball.
Oh, okay. All right. If there's something that didn't get answered in Math Lab, Eli, you can either email me and I'll answer it tomorrow in class, or you can just ask me then, especially because we have that daily grade. So if you want me to answer any questions before we start in the daily grade. But thank you so much for coming to Math Lab. Would it help you if I try to start it at 12:30 every week because of baseball?
This is the baseball camp, and it's this is the last day, and it starts at 3. So
Oh, okay. All right. Well, anytime that I can help you out, let me know. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Where were we, Mary? We were on 13, right?
Yes. Oh, wait, no, 14.
Okay. So y equals -7/3 x minus 6.
Oh, I did not get that.
Okay. So let's mark down 14 to make sure we go back and do that one.
Okay.
And we'll check the rest of them.
Okay.
And then 15 is y equals x minus 1.
Didn't get that either. Oh, darn. I see what I did wrong on that one.
Hey, Miss Sparks.
Answer again?
Hey, Patrick. That one, what was that? 15? Y equals x minus 1. Hey, Pat, is that you, Patrick? I did recognize the voice, right?
Yep, it's Patrick.
Oh, okay. Because I can't, when I have the other screen up, I can't really see who's on. Well, I have the answers to 2.8 up, and we're checking those. If you want to check yours as well.
Okay.
That's what we're currently doing. Hey, and then if you have any questions specific, I'm going back and doing some of them.
Yeah.
Hey, Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, where were
on number
you got
14, I see what I did wrong.
on 14 you did?
Yeah.
All right. And then did I give you the answer to 15 yet?
Yes. The y equals
x
x
minus
minus
1.
1.
Okay, and then 16, we did a lot of these. C
Yeah,
equals r minus p.
Yeah.
And what did you have written down for 18?
E equals I r, or I times r.
Did we solve for the wrong variable? Because the answer here is r equals e over I.
Oh, then we must have.
We must have solved for the wrong variable. So maybe we need to go back over that one and do that one. Let me see what I did. Oh, we didn't finish it out. That's what we didn't do. Is I think you said like I equals E over R, and you were like, let's multiply both sides by R, which is perfect. But we didn't finish it all the way. We have R equals E. And then I think we left it there, and we were supposed to solve for R. So we actually have to divide both sides by I then, and then we get R by itself.
Okay.
So your first step was awesome.
So
it was
R
amazing.
Equals E over
E
I.
over I. Yes, ma'am?
Okay. All right. And that is all the questions I
I need to make myself. Are you in the class with Eli?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we need to make sure that we let him know that, what that was, because we didn't finish that one all the way out in math lab.
Okay.
We need to make a note of that. Were there any other questions like on the textbook work?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you got all your questions answered?
Oh,
I'm sorry?
I wanted to check on the textbook on number 3. I wanted to see if my answer was right.
For the textbook work for tomorrow?
Oh, wait, yeah, you're right, yeah.
I mean, I can still give you the answer.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to make sure that that's what you were talking about before I, like, was it number 3 for a different,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don't work too hard on that.
Okay.
Today. Do you have volleyball today?
No, we do not. We were supposed to have a game against Praise, but they canceled because they weren't big enough to make a JV team this year.
Oh. I saw where y'all won some championship in
We
the
did.
Chronicle.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
We won against Cherokee Christian. And then we played. Who did we play? I can't remember. We played another team, and then after that, we played King's Academy.
Ah,
And that's big because Cornerstone and King's Academy are like rivals.
yes. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, but they don't always play fair either.
Yeah, that is very true. Last
I mean,
year,
I've seen them play volleyball, tennis. I
yes.
don't know what else.
Last year
Oh.
when we played them in middle school,
Yes.
they put JV members on the middle school team, and that's why we lost so horribly against them.
The answer to number 3 in the textbook for tomorrow's work is x equals c over b minus a with a final solution of -2.
Okay, I did that wrong, very wrong.
I don't mind working that one on there, but I don't really want anybody to work too hard on that because I may try to do a little bit more of a fun activity.
Yeah, because I have to get to other work today as well.
Okay, so don't work too hard on that one, okay?
Okay.
If you've gotten the review stuff done, you know, that we went over first from that, if you've gotten that done and you've got 2.8b completed, just go ahead and move on to other work, baby girl.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you.
All right. Have a blessed day.
You too.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey.
Do you have any specific?
Hello?
Either 2.8 worksheet or the review stuff from the textbook? Or did you just come to hang out?
I was just gonna ask you, I was gonna make sure what I've done so far is right.
Okay. On the textbook work or the 2.8?
2.8. So I've done 4 through 6, and I'm pretty sure I got it right. But for 4, I got y equals 3 minus 10x.
Okay. Let me pull it back up.
5, I got.
Yeah. Do you see it? Can you see the answers
Yeah, I can.
down here?
That's not what I got.
I thought, didn't you say y equals 3 minus 10x?
I was looking at 5. Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. Oh, no. Yeah, I know. It's kind of hard to read. But
Yeah.
no, I was like, I could have sworn that's what you said. But yeah, you got it right. And I was going to say, if you have your work in front of you, we can go through and check it. It starts down here, the 1, 2, 3, and can you read it okay? Should I blow it up?
No, it's fine. I can read it.
Okay.
But 5, I got y minus 4x equals 13. But that's not what it says there.
No, you're trying to get y all by itself. For function format, y has to be all by itself. Do you want me to work that one?
Sure.
Okay. And that was number 5?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so what we're trying to do is get y by itself. So we have y minus 13 equals 4x.
Mm-hmm.
So, and y, what's being done to y is 13. And that gives us, that cancels this out. And now y is in fact by itself.
Ms. Sparks?
Yes?
My internet just crapped out for a second, and then when it came back, a whole bunch of stuff just appeared. It's weird.
Yeah.
So I saw when you wrote plus 13. But then after that, it's frozen and everything just appeared.
Oh, it was blurry after that? Well, then you were cutting out on me too. So I don't know. Maybe it was my internet or
I
something.
don't know. It's probably mine.
Can you see it now?
Yep, I can see it now.
Okay. And I was going to say the other thing I can do is go to a blank piece of paper, and sometimes that works on Cami a little bit better. Sometimes Cami gets real funky with me on, which is what I write on, what I used to write with. And sometimes it gets weird on me.
All right. Now I see what
Do you want me to, you want to go back to checking them?
Sure.
And then that way, if I need to work a few more to go through them, I can. Let me scoot this down. Well, both he and Guess were barking. So I had to put them on the back porch. Okay, 6 is y equals 4 minus 8x.
1 equals 4 minus 8x. So
Yes.
for me, I think I didn't finish this in class. So I didn't finish it in class. So I did subtracted x from both sides.
Uh-huh.
So that would be y. No, that's not right. So
Let me see.
to do with the, I remember. For 6, I was confused because all the other ones two terms.
Oh, all the other ones. Yeah, this one you had to get both terms, both the constant and the x variable term on one side of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
So this one was kind of a multi-step in that we have 8x plus y minus 4 equals 0. So you had to get your constant over on the right side first. And so that gets rid of that. And now we have 8x plus y equals 4. And now we're going to subtract 8x from both sides to get the y by itself.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have y equals, and you can either write it negative 8x plus 4, or you can write 4, minus 8x.
All right, hold on. Let me write this down.
Okay.
Y equals 4 minus 8x. All right. So that's all I've done. So far. So here, I'll try to work 7, and I'll see what I get. I see this one.
Okay. All right. Do you want, you know what I can do since you're reworking them or working on them some more? You said you want to sit there and work a few more. Do you want me to post the answers on Google Classroom later?
So, I'll just try to work 7 this weekend. I'll see if I get the right answer.
Oh, okay. All right.
I just want to see if 7.
All right.
7 is 4x plus 2y. So you just need to get y on one side of the equal sign. So wouldn't you just be able to leave 2 equals 4?
Yeah, that's all you're doing is just getting y by itself.
So you can do 2y equals 14 minus 4x.
So you would have, yeah, for number 7, you would, you have 4x plus 2y equals 14. And you would subtract 4x from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And that cancels there. And that gives you 2y equals 14 minus 4x. Then you divide both sides by 2.
Mm-hmm.
And you have y equals, and then 14 divided by 2 is 7.
Mm-hmm.
And negative 4x divided by 2 is negative 2x.
Okay.
Is that how you did it?
Yes.
Cool.
So I think I'm good for till 15 for those, but I see the literal equation thing.
Uh-huh.
So for the
You want me to
literal
work on
equation thing, what
those with you? Okay. So for the literal equation, when it's asking you to solve for like each one is a little different because some of them it's asking you to solve for like a different variable in each equation. So let's take number 16 where it says solve P equals R minus C.
Mm-hmm.
And you're supposed to find C or solve it for C. So if I start with P equals R minus C, I'm going to get, because I see that that's a negative, I'm going to go ahead and add C to both sides,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to give me P plus C equals R. And now C's not quite by itself yet, so I'm going to subtract P from both sides. So now I have C equals R minus P.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna try to work 17 real quick. So,
Okay.
What is that letter? F, yeah. F equals M.
And you're supposed to solve it for M.
Wait, yeah. So, don't we need to subtract A from both sides?
On this one, M is being multiplied to A.
So we need to divide A on both sides?
You need to divide both sides by A. Yes, yes, sir.
All
So
right.
your answer is it literally number 18 is a little trickier.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. 18. What is 18? Solve I equals E over R. So for this one, we need to solve for R.
Uh-huh.
So wouldn't it be wouldn't it be E divided by I equals R?
It is.
I didn't even write that down. I did that in my head.
Wow, that's awesome. Way to go, Patrick.
All right. So is that pretty much the hardest one for those literal equations? Let's see. Yeah, those other ones are easy stuff.
Like this one I did in class yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And these aren't too bad. Maybe the trickiest one would be this one. And some have had a little trouble with 19.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It seems like everybody has had a special one that they've struggled with. Let's see, 21.
You have to get
And
AX
19 probably being, I'm sorry?
for 19, don't you have to just get AX on one side?
Well, you would have to, you have to solve for, get AX by itself and then divide both sides by A.
Okay.
Because you're trying to get that X all by itself. So let me see what they wrote down for, let's say 19. So they write it with the big equation too. Do you want me to work out 19?
No, I think I got it.
Okay.
I put down what I need to do, so when I get to that one, I'll do that.
Okay.
All right.
And
well, for 21,
yes.
Wouldn't it be divided by K equals 3. And then you have to divide K by both sides.
For 21,
Yeah.
the volume one,
Uh-huh.
it's like, yeah, you multiply both sides by 3. And so you have 3V equals BH, and then you divide both sides by H. So you end with B equals 3V divided by H.
Okay.
Is that how you did it?
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Clark.
Oh, no problem. And like I say, I don't know if you want me to, I can post these answers on Google Classroom if that.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, if that'll help you later too.
Yep.
All right. Nothing else? You good? All right. Well, you have a blessed afternoon.
All right. You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.